Welcome back. Today, we are taking the pulse of downtown Kalamazoo. We've got the latest Q3 data, and we're going to give the city's core a full checkup to see how it's really doing. So let's get right to it. All right, first things first, let's get on the same page. When we talk about downtown, we're talking about this specific 1 square mile area. This is the official heart of the city, its economic and cultural engine. So just like a trip to the doctor, we're looking at all the vital signs, the good, the bad, and yeah, the kind of complicated. What's the overall health of downtown right now? First up, and you could argue this is the most important vital sign of all for any downtown, it's people. This is the absolute core of a city's vitality. You know, when we talk about vitality, we're really just asking a simple question. Is the city alive? And when this data mentions a visit, it's counting a unique person coming into that downtown zone. So are more people filling the streets and the shops? That's the energy we're trying to measure. And whoa, the first big piece of news here is fantastic. The number of unique visits to downtown is up a massive 22% compared to this exact same time last year. That is a huge sign of positive momentum. But it's not quite that simple. While that yearly trend is super strong, there's been a little bit of a cooling off in the most recent quarter, with visits dipping just over 4%. And this is where the story starts to get really interesting. You can really see that two-sided story right here in the data. Look at the green line, that's this year. It's consistently way above previous years, which is great news. But you can also see that little downturn from the peak back in May. Now this could be seasonal, maybe the end of a few big summer events. The big picture is still growth, but the immediate trend is a slight slowdown. So here's the crucial thing. A high number of visitors is only half the equation. To really understand downtown's health, we need to know what are they doing while they're actually here. And here we can see a really interesting change in behavior. On the left, you've got 2024. On the right is 2025. So what's the big takeaway? Look at the percentage of people going straight home after their visit. It jumped from 39% to over 43%. This kind of suggests that fewer people are making that second or third stop at another shop or a restaurant. You know, this pattern of long-term growth with a little bit of a recent dip isn't just for visitors. We're seeing a really similar story with the other folks who make up downtown's pulse, the residents who live there and the employees who work there. But let's zoom in on the resident story because that data is particularly strong. I mean, wow, the data for people living downtown is incredibly strong. The population is growing fast, housing is nearly full at 93% occupancy, which is tight, and maybe most importantly, the median income has jumped almost 9%. Downtown is becoming a more populated and a more prosperous place to live. Of course, more people, well, that usually means more problems with what we're calling the flow. How easy is it to actually move around? This is where we start to see the growing pains. And here it is, the headline number for this section, and honestly, it's a bit of a gut punch. Travel delays, that extra time it takes to get through downtown, spiked by 24% this quarter alone. That's a jump I think anyone driving in the city has definitely felt. And here's a major reason why. Widespread road construction. And while it's a great sign of investment for the future, its immediate impact is, well, a whole lot of orange barrels and some really frustrating traffic jams. And this construction has a direct ripple effect on public transit. With routes all messed up and several key bus stops like these just gone, it's not really a surprise that the number of transit users has actually fallen by 3% compared to last year. It's totally bucking that trend of overall visitor growth. Parking tells another one of these complex stories. In the afternoon, over on the left, you can see those surface lots are in super high demand. But then, in the evening, on the right, that demand drops way off, while the on-street and ramp parking stays more consistent. Managing this daily shift is a huge challenge for the city. Okay, so with people on the move and facing delays, what about the physical foundation? Are the buildings full? Is the market healthy? The bedrock here looks incredibly solid. Both commercial and residential property occupancy has held steady at a very healthy 95%. So despite all the churn, the spaces in downtown are overwhelmingly being used. But if we dig just a little deeper, we see another sign of the market maybe moderating. The rate of rent growth has actually slowed down this quarter. Now, this doesn't signal a problem. It's more like a market that's just cooling off a bit from a period of faster growth. It's still healthy, it's just kind of catching its breath. Okay, so we've looked at the people, the flow, and the foundation. So what's the final diagnosis for downtown Kalamazoo? This quote really just sums it up perfectly. The growth is real and it's exciting, but that very success is creating these friction points. And if these traffic and transit issues aren't addressed, they could eventually slow down the very growth that's causing them. So here it is, your final report card. The people metric, that gets a big thumbs up. Growth is strong. The movement metric, though, shows serious strain. That growth is causing real challenges. And the property metric is stable. The foundation is solid as a rock. Which leaves us with this final question, doesn't it? Growth is what every city wants, but it's never without consequence. As Kalamazoo keeps expanding, finding that really delicate balance between encouraging progress and managing its side effects, well, that's going to be the defining challenge for a truly thriving downtown.